It was busy in there, kind of the whole race. I tried to just find a pocket, and I knew that all my guys on my team were doing their job behind me, so all I had to do was relax and execute my plan. And it was an honest race the whole way. You know, nobody made any huge moves, but you know, people kept it at a reasonable clip, and then it was still pretty crowded with the K to go, so I knew it would kind of be a little hectic at the end, and managed to find some space and tried to really wind up my kick, and I think I did a good job of that. Morgan had a little bit more than me at the end, so he had an incredible race, you know, so it's a great way for him to cap off his Wisconsin cross-country career.
I was on the Gator and watching. The pack was so thick, I didn't even see it until there was about a 1.5 Ks to go, and then I said, there you were?
Yeah.
So what was your thought moving up through the pack? Because I didn't see you.
Yeah. It felt like I was in around 10th kind of the whole way, maybe like 15th, just kind of sitting in the middle.
People were just blocking out so we couldn't see you.
Yeah. There were different guys interchanging the lead, so there were a lot of guys in that race that like to lead, so I knew that all I had to do was sit behind those guys, and they would take me to wherever I needed to be.
You seemed like you were calm. Were you nervous? You looked like you were confident in that last kilometer.
Yeah, I'm confident in my kick, and I knew at the end I could run with any of those guys. So, you know, obviously Morgan just had an incredible last 100 meters and got the best of me, but the whole race I knew that it was going to come down to a kick. I mean, I was listening to the other guys breathing, and they were sounding good. So, as calm as I was and as composed as I looked, I knew it was going to get hectic towards the end, and it did, as most races like this do. So,
a lot of the runners were going to the grass when they could. What was the footing like out there?
It was cross-country footing. I mean, there wasn't much more to it than that.
The good thing is the snow doesn't splash your legs like water.
Yeah. The snow. I mean. The snow was fine. I mean, there was just a little powder out there. There was nothing major. The only thing that was a little different was, you know, there was a little mud on some of the hills because the snow was melting a little bit. But, I mean, that's what running in cross-country is in November in the Midwest. So, you know, it was nothing we weren't prepared for or anything. Honestly, it was kind of nice.
If somebody had taken off, were you prepared to move with them if they had surged at some point or not?
Yeah. I mean, I was tucked into that pack, but I knew if somebody made a big move that was someone that I thought could keep moving like all the way through the race, then I was prepared to hop out.
You saw it pre-Nance when Mance did when he was trying to do the big lead. Were you thinking he might jump out or something the way he was going or not?
Well, Connor took a little lead at some point in the race, and him and Joe and a couple other guys were interchanging up front, and I was keeping an eye on them, but you know, they never got more than 5 meters away from the pack, so that's nothing. It's not like in track where someone goes, you got to be right on them. It's cross country, and so you know, a 5 meter gap isn't much, but you know, I was monitoring everybody up there and just making sure that, you know, nobody got too much ground up there, and because there are a lot of great runners up there, and you know, if one guy goes, they can hold it most of the time. Yeah.
When you make at the very end, it's like 4 of you or whatever. Is that what you wanted at the start of the race? Did you want it to come down to a kick like that?
Yeah, I think that's a strong suit of mine, and I knew that this year I was strong enough to turn it into a kicker's race no matter what happened. So if it was a fast one, I was prepared to sit on whoever was going, and if it was slow, obviously it was going to be a kicker's race no matter what. And so I was prepared for that, and I was proud of how I kicked. Morgan got the best of me. He had an incredible last 100 meters, and you know, I have tremendous respect for him and all the guys that were leading, and a kicker's race is kind of what I envisioned, and I got what I hoped for, and you know, it wasn't quite exactly what the result I was hoping for, but I'm proud of how I executed the race.
How do you assess your career now? Because you got 3 top 5 finishes, but no win in the speed. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it is a little disappointing. Would have been really fun to get a win, but you know, this isn't the end all be all, and you know, the NCAA this year was incredibly deep, and you know, to be in that pack was something special, and I think you're going to see in 4 or 5 years a lot of the guys that were in this race, you know, really at the forefront of American running and world running. There were a lot of guys from other countries in there too. So yeah, it was a great race.
Since it was a kicker's race, take us back to 3. You turn on the straightaway, it's 300 to go.
Yeah.
It looked like, and then you got a flat 100 and then 200 up, right? It looked like you pulled 4 abreast right at the start.
Yeah.
And then take us 300 to 200, 100 to go.
Sure. So yeah, the way as you know very well, the way the finish works is you kind of go downhill for a little while, and then you take that hard right, and then go straight at the finish, and you can see it from a long way out. And so I knew I've run this straightaway a few times now, and I knew that it's a lot longer than you think, especially over 10K. You know that a 300-meter block really takes a while, and a lot of guys pulled up and really flared out, and I kind of sat right behind those guys, and I was waiting and trying to be patient, and when I thought it was time, I flared out and started to build up, and
look a little less than 200 to go.
Yeah,
probably. A little on the uphill. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. The first 100, I was kind of sitting behind those guys still, and then with about 200 to go, I started to flare out a little bit, and I felt good. I felt like I could make a move straight through the finish, and I did. It was just Morgan had a better move straight through the finish.
You and Morgan with about a little more than 100 to go, maybe 120. It was you two at that point.
Yeah, it felt like it was just us at that point. I mean, I'm sure the guys were barreling down behind us, but my focus was just building through my gears, and I didn't have any control over what Morgan was doing, or the guy next to me, or the other guy in that pack, and all I could control was how I built through my gears, and it was good. I think it's easy to mess up that last straight. Yeah.